And one of the ministries that has benefited from the annual Catholic Appeal for more than 40 years is Jericho, a place where disabled children and adults have found a spiritual home in Holyoke. Rebecca Drake has the story.
They dance, they sing, they laugh,
give us this day our daily bread,
and they pray. And because of the vision of one diocesan priest, people with disabilities and their families experience the unconditional love of God at the Bureau for Exceptional Children and Adults at Jericho. Sister of St. Joseph Joan Magnani, director of Jericho, has been a part of the ministry for the last 40 years. She says the late Father Robert Wagner wanted to help the disabled to feel accepted socially and spiritually.
He accepted them and wanted other people to accept them, and that was his purpose. He wanted to break down walls and barriers so that people with disabilities will be fully accepted into their parishes and also into the community in which they lived.
One of the more than 40 ministries, agencies, and programs receiving support from the annual Catholic Appeal, Jericho helps these special children and adults participate in the sacraments that are integral to their Catholic faith. And according to Stephen O'Brien, whose daughter attends religious education classes at Jericho, the ministry has enriched the faith life of his entire family.
It's been a great experience to get her into the church and her first communion and be able to experience all the things that, every other typical kid her age would be able to do.
For Holyoke resident Martha Murphy Kane, who teaches the Saturday morning class at Jericho, interacting with these children has deepened her own faith.
There's an energy that passes between the children and the parents and myself that's indescribable, but it only instills and heightens my faith in God in terms of what God is all about.
Martha was involved in the Jericho ministry as a board member and volunteer for 10 years before her own son was diagnosed with autism. She says the programs at Jericho have had a positive impact on her and her family.
You know that you're accepted unconditionally and you're embraced, and you are placed in a setting where you can grow as yourself and you can share your faith amongst people who don't judge, who only accept, and who hold your hands through the process.
Over the years, Jericho has helped hundreds of disabled children and adults to be welcomed into faith communities. In recent years, programs have expanded to address the needs of children with autism. Program Director Nicole Beaulieu says the families of these autistic children believe spiritual development is just as important as educational development for their loved ones.
They're trying to meet a need that the school isn't able to address. And I think that once their child is doing well in school, they find it important to start to address their spiritual needs of their child and themselves.
In addition to religious education, parent support groups, and masses, Jericho holds social events throughout the year. One of its most popular activities is the bi-monthly dance at the Castle of Knights in Chicopee.
We did hold it here at Jericho, but it got so large that we couldn't continue holding it here, so now we go over to the Knights of Columbus, and they have been very, very good to us in providing whatever we need for this particular dance.
But, Sister Jones says, none of these programs and activities would exist without the support of the annual Catholic Appeal.
Because many programs have been cut, because we don't receive state funds, we're able to continue this program because of the help of the Catholic Appeal. The Catholic Appeal has helped us through these many, many years to provide monies for us so that we can continue our work here at Jericho with people with disabilities and their families.
And as the ministry at Jericho continues, the vision and presence of Father Wagner endures.
I don't think a day goes by when someone doesn't mention Father Wagner, either through a phone call or someone stopping by, or one of the disabled people. They're always talking about Father Wagner and what he meant to them and how they still miss him. His legacy, hopefully, will live on forever, and what he wanted to do to integrate people has been accomplished in many, many ways.
The gift of God's love, a beautiful legacy, and a wonderful ministry. For Real to Real, I'm Rebecca Drake.
It's heartwarming to see the good work of Father Wagner continuing in the Jericho ministry today. And to learn more about Jericho's programs and to make your secure online donation to the annual Catholic Appeal, you can find a link at iobserve.org.